Hey traders, just doing a quick video for you. I'm just going to give you a quick update on what's happening with Google. So the first thing I do see with Google is it made a big gap here with Google. Well, before I start, anything I do say, if you take anything I say in this video, you're going to lose money. So don't do anything I say in this video. Period. All right. The thing is, I look at this. Okay, so the first thing I notice when I look at Apple is this. You see that we have this big stock here, right? We have this big gap through here. Now that big gap there, I thought, okay, interesting. And then so what? Generally, each stock has its own characteristics, right? So let's actually just bring this up here a bit more. And I thought, okay, each stock has its own characteristics. So let's actually have a look at what happens. Okay, then there's a gap there, big gap there, and it ended up getting filled. Okay, then keep going back. Alright, there was a fairly decent gap there, but it ended up getting filled. And you notice it gets filled fairly quickly as well too. Like you see, gap, bit of a rundown, and then back up. Gap, bit of a rundown, and then back up. Let's keep going. Is there any more gaps here? Oh, look, there's one here. Alright, so you had small gap, it came run down, and then had a little bit of movement, and then ran back up towards the close the gap. A big gap, closed down, came back up, and did not close the gap this time. So that was the only one time that it did not close the gap, as it was continued down through here. So to me, the first thing I see when looking at this, when looking at Apple, is that it's made a big gap and it's now continued to move to the high side. Now moving on to the weekly chart, which is always important. Look at the weekly chart. The weekly chart is clearly showing strength, but what's happening right now, as you can see, we've had this big run up, or basically big gap. It was big run up. And now we're hitting an area of resistance. And so that area of resistance, it might be in a situation where it actually is struggling. Look back on the daily chart. You can see it's struggling around this area of weekly resistance. So I would not be too surprised actually to see Google come down, or should I say to see Apple come down to close at least its gap through here first before it continues doing whatever it's going to do. Make sense? So that's what I see overall with Apple. Just a bit of an education for you guys. That's really important. Let's go to the weekly chart. Just to keep an eye out for the overall picture, which is obviously happening right there. But then what do you see here? You see this market come down through here since mid 2013, had a double bottom, and the pick back up, started to create the movement to the high side, and now we're picking back up towards sort of the 600 level, and quite possibly by the end of the year it might be back up to 700. So it's actually quite showing some strength ever since mid 2013, and picked back up ever since then. So Apple looks like nice and strong, looks like it's continuing up, but on the short term basis, guys, I would suggest a bit of weakness, and based on its characteristics on the past, it looks like it may actually want to come down. And it may want to at least close some of its gap before continue doing what it's doing. Anyway, guys, this is John Howell here from officialjohnhowell.com. Remember, success can be yours if you go claim it. So step up, take massive action, and face your fears today.